Live. Okay, cool. Welcome, everybody. This is our final demo for everyone. And I just want to say thank you for attending. Again, if you're not speaking, please mute yourself. Okay, so I muted everybody. So if you need to speak, just ping me in the chat area. You hear the music in the background? So this is our final. Um, this has been in a tremendous ride, and I see a lot of transformation. And I just wanted to get everyone together to showcase their work and see what everybody else has been doing on the project as well. If you open up your chat area on the right-hand side, I do have a few housekeeping items. To help our bandwidth, and for those who have some problems with connection, here are some housekeeping tips. Don't have any other feeds with what's going on right now, Facebook or Twitter. It does utilize a lot of the bandwidth as well. Also, I've muted everyone, and if you are not speaking, make sure you're muted, and if you are not, also disable your video. Okay, that wastes that is very heavy on the bandwidth as well. So I see everybody has their photo, and that's great. Check your emails in case there's some questions, or just open up a chat. Be available for that in case there's something wrong and I need to contact you. I don't want to interrupt anyone's demo. And if the mentors are on board, I'm hoping they're watching on YouTube. So if you want, you can have your YouTube channel up as well. And if you want this, I'll invite the mentors a little later, but we do want to hear from them as well. So I may have to swap you out, but I think everyone is here that needs to be here. I have a couple of videos because there were a few students that were not able to make it. They're presenting or they're at a conference, and that's understandable, but they did have a video for me. Anything you need to ask me, or if there's any problems, make sure you put it in the chat area. I also have, I'll showcase a few sites later on. I do have the YouTube video, and then I'll open up the Q&A as well. Okay, any questions that anyone has, that's perfectly okay. All right, so I'm going to show just a few slides. Everyone sees my slides on the Hangout, I'm hoping. I'm going to just show a few slides and go through some of our Peace Corps, our projects really. So the first set of projects that we have was a Peace Corps team. We had an incredible mobile team, lots going on, a lot of mentors, a lot of students. This is our actual mobile team for the Peace Corps as well. And don't worry, I'll post this so that everybody will have access to it. Our first up is our malaria mobile app, and I'm actually going to go ahead and play Anike's and Shrudi's video because they were not able to be here, but their mentors were Matt and Kristen. BNR is Big Nerd Ranch out of Atlanta. They're one of the largest, probably not the largest, but great engineering presence in Atlanta, and you'll see a couple of more mentors down with other projects as well from Big Nerd Ranch. So thanks to them for loaning us some mentors this year. And Fenda, who is actually a Peace Corps volunteer. I think she came back early February, I want to say, and she's based out of Washington, but she's, I believe, headed to Boston this week or next week as she starts grad school at Harvard. So congrats there, Fenda. So I'm going to start with the video for let's do Anike first. Anike just sent over his video. Okay, so I'm going to start his video. Does everybody see Anike's video playing? I'm sorry, that's Irish video, but we'll go ahead and start with Anike's video. Hold on just 1 second. No, this, here we go. All right. So does everyone see Anike's video? No? Okay, so I'm gonna go and all right, so let me play his video. Let me just play it and share my screen. All right, that's the one I want to share. How about now? Yes? No? Yes. Okay. So there's no text with this video. I'm sorry, there's no voice with this video. The reason why is Peace Corps actually requested that Anike as well as Shruti provide a video where they can showcase this at a medical conference in Germany. They are currently there right now, and the work that they've done is actually Anike did some work. I think there are still some items that are not complete, but he is still working on the click on the progress label as well as the second analytics screen, which should take you to a calendar view to see all the taken and non-taken medication. The background on on this particular project is that the Peace Corps wanted to actually have a mobile project, a mobile application for their volunteers, so they were reminded of taking their malaria medication. They had a design team come from University of Michigan, I want to say, and not Michigan State, but I think it's University of Michigan, come in February on their spring break. They spent a week there, and they did the initial design, and then we actually picked it up once we started our program back in May, I believe. So what you see is very, very simple screen. They wanted to try to gamify it. And what I found was interesting is that at the design, at the design meeting, they were presenting. They wanted to do something with Starbucks or, gain some points with that. But then Eugenia, everyone was kind of quiet, and Eugenia stepped up and said, hey, why not have a calling card or gain points for calling card or something for your mother or your parent. That was something that stood out because that caringness about the concerns with the Peace Corps volunteers being so far away. The recent scare that's going on right now is Ebola. So they had a lot of Peace Corps volunteers. They had to evacuate from certain countries. So this is very, very high profile visibility for them. And they did an excellent, excellent job. I'm going to play Shruti. Are you on board? So I'll go ahead and play Shruti's as well. Um, she does not have any text as well, but you can actually see a lot of what she's done also. She actually put some text next to hers, so you can pretty much follow along. So I'm going to play that as well. Does everybody see the screen? Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Hold on, stop sharing. Hold on just a second. I'm going to share my screen again. All right. So does everyone see the mobile app now? Yes? Okay, great. I'm going to go ahead and let it play. They actually used this in a presentation, I believe yesterday or was today Friday, early this morning on a presentation at a medical conference. This was great because when you're actually doing trying to record the demo, having that text and explaining it and exactly what's happening on the right-hand side with your mobile app is very, very useful. Then you can actually share that with your whoever you want, because these are actually going to be posted on our YouTube page, our YouTube channel, and I will post that channel out to everyone. One of the things about the mobile app as well is that they wanted to make sure that it was very, very simple. You don't see a lot of text, you don't see a lot of, it's really just graphics and dates. And if you're out in the field, if you've ever been, volunteering out in the field, that's something that you really probably all only need to do is to maybe access or click something and then move on. So this was a mobile app that they really, really wanted to keep very, 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 very simple. You'll see the peace track when Sheila and Pooja present. You'll see their mobile app is a little bit more involved because it is more involved. And that application was very, very challenging, and the whole project actually was very challenging. I'm just going to let that play out just a little bit more so that you can actually see some of the screens and what's happening. Again, if you're ever thinking about doing recording your video of your application, this is a great way. And the medical conference that there are is very international, so having this text next to it instead of having to translate it in different languages is also very helpful. And if you notice, the video is it's not that long at all. It's probably about 4.5 minutes. We wanted to keep it very short, and Patrick wanted to be able to actually talk through it as she's actually going through some of the demoing the features and understanding what's happening. One of the challenges that the team had is that all of the graphics you see, they actually did a design. The Michigan team did a design, but they didn't have any of the graphics, the background, the icons that you see on the screen. So they actually created themselves, which is very resourceful when you don't have access to the people who actually created the design. And that's very typical when you're working on any project, not just mobile, but any project. You may or may not have, Shruti is trying to join. Hold on. Let me see if we have too many people in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, she's not able to join. Nikki, do you mind dropping off so that I can add Shruti?
Hi everyone, my name is Irish and I'm a computer science undergraduate attending university in Canada. For the Google Summer of Code.
Okay. Thanks, Nikki. I'm going to add Shruti, actually. Oh, that's JS. JS just joined us. Okay. Let me tell Shruti that we are not able to. Okay. All right. So she's just gonna watch. We just completed her demo, so that's fine. Okay. Any questions about what Anike and Shruti their mobile application? We'll come back to that later and give Shruti a chance to talk through her application. But let's just go ahead and move on. Next up, we will have. Let me come back to my screen. Let me come back to my screen here. Next up is our Peacetrack mobile team. So our Peacetrack mobile team, Nikki was the project manager, and she's based out of Memphis. Nikki is also one of our org administrators. The two technical mentors on the team were Chuki Chan, she's based out of Denver now, and then Niraj, who is also out of Gainesville. I think he's at the University of Florida, grad student at the University of Florida. Our two students is Sheila and Pooja, and I believe Sheila is going to go first. So Sheila, if you want to share your screen.
Can you see it?
Yes, I can see it now. Yes. Can everyone see her screen?
Okay, cool. So, hi everyone, I'm Sheila. I'm gonna just dive into this, okay? So, say that you're a Peace Corps volunteer and you go in here and your name is Sam. So, yeah, you can do that. Put your name in, put your email in. Okay. And okay. And then so you're just keep entering the fields, and say that you are volunteering in this country. And so once we have synchronization with the info hub, I will be able to in the iOS version generate values for the sectors, generate the sectors based on the post chosen. So yeah. So for this though, you can right now choose whatever you want, and then but say you forgot to put your name in. Oh no. Yeah, you can't do that. You need to have all the fields full. So put your name back in. and then we log in. And let me just explain real quick why we need this information. We need your post and your sector so that we can generate things called indicators for you, which are, it's a fancy word for the outcomes and the outputs that you need to satisfy based on your post and sector combination. So this specific combination of Albania and education, the ED stands for education, has certain indicators associated with it. And because of that, you need to have you can't just do like Albania and like that, because if it doesn't generate the right value for you, you can't query the database if there's nothing there, and it'll be an error. Right, so once you do this, you get to this page where you can, for now, Pooja and I have implemented my cohorts. So yeah, and she's going to explain that.
Thank you, Sheila. Are you done? I don't want to interrupt. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I should have gave you some background on the Peace Track. The Peace Track has this requirement that, in order to get funding, they actually have to have some types of documentation or provide some assets when they go in front of the committee and, do their ask for the funding. This is the things that we've done over this particular time period and how it's impacted that community and how we're making an impact in those communities. So one of the ways that they have to do that is typically it's been like a web application, which was very cumbersome, but they wanted to create this mobile app with that. This actually started with the, and let me share my screen and go back to this actually started with Niraj. I met Niraj also last year at a hackathon here in Atlanta, and that's where Patrick was as well. And he started on, it used to be called Real Track, and the Real Track now is Peace Track because it actually wanted to kind of just collaborate and have the tools available for the volunteers as well. So typically this was for the volunteers to have something in hand that they can record what they're doing on a day-to-day basis. And it's very, very involved. Peace Corps is actually learning more. Patrick and Matthew are learning the process as well. So it's not something that they knew right off the bat. There were changes that are coming in all the time. So this, they only got so far because that's where we are with understanding where some of the features need to be implemented. And this is a typical as well. If you've never been on a project where there were so many unknowns and the client wanted you to just push something out, it's very, very typical to have something like this. And you're learning together. You and the client are learning together. So we made some great strides. We had some hiccups in the very beginning, right around midterms, and then we brought more and more Peace Corps, having those discussions with them, and it's just really ironing out all the features and what we need to implement. So there's still a lot to do, but at the same time, they've done an incredible job of what they've had to work with. So hats off to Sheila and Pooja as well as all the mentors. So thank you, Sheila. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And who's up next? Pooja.
Hi everyone. This is Pooja. So from where Sheila left, Sheila talked about login screen. So login screen is a one-time screen. Clicks add my account. So after that, the volunteer cannot go back to the login screen. So then he directs to this dashboard screen from here we have 4 options, but as of now we have only covered my cohorts. So when I click on my cohorts, yeah, it shows me a page, a screen where all my cohorts in my local database are listed down. So all this application, all this data, this is currently in local database. But our future plans are that we want this data to be synced with a main server from InfoHub team. So on this cohorts page, we have a plus button at the top right. If I click on this button, I go to a next screen where I can add any cohort. Yeah. So this name is mandatory here. So if I don't add name and just click on save button, it will show me please enter your name. So name is in a mandatory field here. So let's say I yeah, class 5, and I click on save button. Yeah. So here it's an interesting thing that as we saw that class 5 is already an existing cohort in my local database, so it won't allow me to add another cohort with the same name. So it will throw an error saying that this cohort already exists in your database, so please change the name of your cohort. So I'll need to change the name of my cohort in okay, so I can make it some class 8 or something like that. Yeah. So now I can save my cohort. Yeah. So to edit the cohort, I have to long press on a cohort. Just for 2-3 seconds, just hold on to the row, and the action bar at the top, it will be replaced with another context action bar. So at the top right, we'll see 2 options. One is delete option and another is edit option. So if I click on edit option, yeah. So there I'll be redirected to the page, the same page, the add cohort page, but the different thing is here my fields will be pre-filled. So whatever information I had added earlier for a particular cohort, it will all be there. So from here, I can change the cohort name or the optional short description, anything I want. But here also, I have placed a check that I cannot change this cohort name to any other cohort which already exists in my database. For example, I try changing it to swimming. Yeah, it will show me the same error that this cohort already exists. So I cannot have this cohort in my database. So let's say swimming 1, yeah, and save. So I successfully edit my cohort. Other than that, we have a search button at the top. From here, we can search a cohort, because once a volunteer has with the data flowing in, the volunteer will have so many cohorts in one screen, so it will be cumbersome for him to scroll down the screen every time and find the cohort that interests him and go to that screen. So instead of that, he can just press on the search button at the top and type for the cohort that he or she wants. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, so that's it from our end. Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Pooja. That's great. Great work. So when the volunteers actually have to work with, they can actually create their own cohorts. So that's what Pooja has actually demonstrated. One of the things we didn't get as far as is there are indicators and projects and just a lot of detail, lower detail level that we still need to implement. So there's a lot of work on still left to do, and Pooja and both Sheila are staying on board to continue that work. So we appreciate it. Thank you, Sheila and Pooja.
Thank you.
And I'm going to have the ending part of this particular peace track, one that goes with peace track and malaria. when we were actually deciding on what we needed to, what was needed for implementation to make this actually usable for everyone at Peace Corps, they wanted to do a mobile app control center, which is a web app. So Ronnie has been working on the malaria side as well as the peace track side. So she worked on the malaria side first 6 weeks, and then the peace track she picked up on the last 6 weeks. So Ronnie, if you want to go ahead and share your screen and start your demo.
Yes, sure. Okay. Um Hello, I am Rani, and this is the mobile app control center which I have developed on Python and Django. So, firstly, the aim of this mobile app control center is that one is that the Peace Corps admin will Peace Corps staff will be able to use this site to manage their database, and also the sync which we need to do with the mobile apps of malaria and Peace Track would be able to be done using this mobile app control center. So we'll start with the sign up. Uh, So I will enter these details. As soon as I enter the details, there will be a verification mail sent to the email ID of the user to verify that the email ID is the correct one. So we'll check the mail. So first mail which you can see is the mail. So you will get an email with the verification link to which you have to click to get your account verified. So here is the link. When I click on the link, I'll get the message that my account has been verified, and now I am able to use the account. So verification is successful. Now I can go to the home page. The home page has two main things. One is the malaria and one is the peace track. So let us have a look at some general functionalities. One is the profile. So the user which has logged in will be able to see his profile. It is at the right upper corner. Welcome. So test 2 is the user right now. He'll be able to see his profile. Here is the profile, and also if we want to if we want to edit the profile, he'll be able to edit the profile, and if he wants to change the password, he'll be able to change the password. Thus, the profile edit is successful, and we can see the edited profile. Okay, so now let's go to malaria. The malaria mobile application has an info hub that contains some posts which had a title and a description of a post. So from here, the Peace Corps will be able to add a post, delete a post, edit a post, and also see the revision history of the post, that who has made which changes to the respective post. So here we can add a post by clicking new post. Uh, I go ahead and submit the new post. And yes, the post is created successfully. I can view the post.
Ronnie, just one thing, there is a slight
Yeah.
lag, so you may want to just slow down just a tad bit.
Sorry.
There's a slight lag when you are
Okay.
navigating, okay? So you might want to just hold off for
Okay.
just
Okay.
a few seconds.
Sure. Sure. So here you will be able to see the details of the post, and at the end you will be able to see the revision history of the post. So here it shows that the post was created by test2 user on so and so date and so time. Now if I want to edit a post, I have already created one post by another user account. So we'll go ahead and edit that post. The first one, test. So this post has been created by test1, and we'll go ahead and edit this. Okay. So let's change the description of the post. So this way post has been edited successfully, and now we'll be able to see which changes have been done and who has done the changes and when. So here it has, the post was updated by test2 and the description has been changed from description 1 to description change. So this is the implementation of revision history feature. And same and also we can delete the post if we want. This is post has been deleted. This is for the malaria thing. Now we'll go to peace track. So in the peace track, the database has been organized according to their requirements, having all the post, regions, sectors, measurement, cohort, output, outcomes, etc. I have understood all the relationship between the models and implemented the database. Right now what I have implemented in peace track is a summary and the information about the volunteer. The graph thing is yet to be added, as I am not very sure about how is the requirement of that feature to be implemented. So when I go to summary, I have fed some dummy data in the database for now. So when I go to summary, I'll be able to see the data. Yeah. So I'll be able to see the details by post. So there is a details by post first. After that, there are the details by sectors. That means the sectors which are there in the database right now. So there are two sectors in the database and their description and their code is given. After that, it is the details by project. So there are two projects in the database with their purpose and the sectors. Then it follows by details by volunteers, which is like the information about the volunteer. Also, the volunteer will show the information about specifically volunteers. Here is the details about volunteers. So this is as far as the web is concerned. Uh, I have created the APIs which needs to be accessed by the mobile team. So here are the APIs. I am yet to sync with the mobile team, mobile applications, but the APIs are ready. So the API and the admin panel both have the authentication framework. So everyone will not be able to access the database, and everyone will not be able to access the APIs. So here is the API. I need to log in first to access the API. This password will only share with the developers so that they can incorporate in their app. And yes, here are the APIs. Let's say for an example, we want to get details, we want to access the cohorts. So this is the first link. Yes. So these are the APIs which the mobile team can access, and if they want to post a new cohort, then that can also be done via this form. Also, they can delete the particular cohort. And if I want to get the data in the JSON format, then here it is, get the data in JSON. So basically, this would be the API for cohort in JSON. That is all for API. And also, I would like to show one more thing, last thing, that is the admin panel. So admin panel is basically the database. So this will also be having an authentication, the same that the API has, with which the admin will be able to see who are the users, who are the registered users, and what are all the fields which the database has. Yes, this is all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Ronnie. And actually, Ronnie is, when she was working on this late last night, my time, I guess, early her time. She's in India. But all of the all of the web projects, all of the projects this year are new. Okay, and one of the things we are typically a mailman project, and we do Python, of course. But all of the web projects also, for the first time, are using Django. So you will see mostly a lot of the Python projects are using the Django framework. So that was a learning curve for everyone, but really it wasn't a learning curve from what I've seen and from all the other projects as well. There was some problems with, just trying to understand the data. Again, we are learning with Peace Corps, so that took some time, and we still have a lot of items to flesh out. And we didn't get a chance to get the API to the team, so Ronnie will take this opportunity to make sure that all of the mobile team, because this is actually like coming in the 11th hour, if you will. The API has been ready, but it's just really a matter of just making sure that all the other parts are ready, because if the other parts aren't ready, then it's not going to work anyway. So thanks, Ronnie, all the mobile team. I appreciate it. If you could could you be on view mode now and just drop off so that I can add Shruti? Unfortunately, Google Hangout will only allow us 10 people to be logged in at one time, so that way I can at least add Shruti, because I think she wanted to demo her her mobile application. Let me see if I can add her now, and then we'll move on to I think that's the one. Okay, this has been great. So thank you so much. I appreciate it, Ronnie and Sheila. They just dropped off. So hopefully we'll see Shruti in a bit. So why don't we go to Soumya? Soumya, are you prepared? Soumya is actually working on the language translation project. Just to give you a little background on this was the project that me and my kids did last year. We started on last year at a hackathon in Atlanta, and that's where I met Patrick. This was really for the Chuukese people in Micronesia. What happens is that the Peace Corps volunteers, the Chuukese people don't have a written language. So they are creating their languages. So you can imagine the challenge that the Peace Corps volunteers have with in just understanding the language and communication. What they really wanted was just to make sure that they could take a photo, upload the photo, and have English text as well as the Micronesian phonetics with that as well. Again, the Micronesian people don't, the Chuukese people don't actually have written text. So this is one way of, I guess, creating that in the process. And I worked with Sarah out of the Micronesian office, the Peace Corps Micronesian office. We actually got on a Google Hangout with her. And let me see if I can show you the next team, yeah. And I'll go back, yeah. Let me share my screen so that you can actually see Sarah here. Hopefully everybody sees my screen. But that's Patrick in the background. If you see those hands, he's actually holding. She was on an iPad on the Google Hangout, and so we were actually. That's her picture right there. That's the only picture I have of her. But the project team is Anna, who's actually located in Madrid. And we actually had two linguistic anthropologists on board as well, Ala and Eve. They're based out of Chicago. And Eve contacted me during the Chuukese project and wanted to just get involved because they are actually working on the same type of project with minority languages. I think they had a project that they were currently working with the Aborigines people in Australia. So that a lot of their work is centered around minority languages. And our technical mentors was Pamela. Again, she's from the Big Nerd Ranch out of Atlanta. She also runs Rails Girls Atlanta. And that's where I met her because I'm part of that group here locally. And Sylvain, who is actually based out of Paris. He actually created and runs Rails Girls Paris. He's a huge proponent of encouraging women to get into technology. Sylvain just got married over the summer, so he was out of pocket for a little while. So congratulations to him. And and the last, but certainly not the least, is Soumya. She's based in India, and she is our student, and she's going to actually give us her demo of the work that she's done. So Soumya, are you prepared to go ahead and share your screen?
Yeah, hello. Hello.
Hi, we can hear you.
Yeah, one sec. Okay. Okay, hello. Yeah.
We can hear you.
So, hi, I'm Soumya from India, and I have been working on Peace Corps photo language translation project. So, let's start with the demo. So, basically, this project is like a picture dictionary for the local users.
Soumya, we can't.
And
we don't see your screen, so
hello?
you're going to have to share your screen.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Look on the left-hand side of the green icon, the second green icon.
I thought I have shared. Okay. Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
Hello? Yeah. So I've been working on Peace Corps photo language translation project. This project is basically a picture dictionary kind of project for local users. For admin, it's to manage all the records that have been there in the database. So first, I have created admin user, and I have seeded that user into the database, so we can change according, the Peace Corps volunteer, the Peace Corps people can change the admin username and password according to what they want. Okay, so let's log in as a admin. So I'm admin. So this is my profile page, and it says signed in successfully, so I can see my name and all. Okay, so let's edit my profile. So I can edit it. Say I can edit my profile. Update. So I've updated my contact number. Okay, now I can also okay, so let's do changing the password. So let's change the password. Say I have added wrong new password confirmation, so it will give me an error. Okay, so this is invalid and this is invalid. So this is how you're going to get the errors if it's wrong. Okay, so this is the correct one. And so you have updated your account successfully. Okay, so let's now go to the users. Okay, now admin can see all the users for this application. These are the guest users. Guest users are those who have not been assigned or allowed to use this application. So these are listed here. The admin can go here, he can edit whether this person has been allowed to log in into this application or not. So I say I allow it, allow Navneet to log into this and say role as a contributor. So I've updated it. So it has been updated. Contributor, yes, okay. So he's not a guest anymore, he's a contributor, we can see here. Okay. Now we see posts. So post is actually a country or an installation where for this Peace Corps organization. So admin can create a post here. Let's say we can create the post. Let's say if we create a post without any name, so I'll get an error. So you can't enter. Now, okay. So I've edited this. Okay, now I've created it. Okay, so I can see it here. Okay, okay, I can also delete a post. Say I want to delete this. Okay, you can delete this post. Now we have sites. In each post you have a site. So say if I want to add a site to Albania, this post. Okay, so I go here, new site, Albania, from this drop down box. Then say this is my site name. So I created the new site. Now I can add volunteers and contributors to this site. So let's add the volunteer Himesh to this site. So I have added him. Okay, I want to add a contributor, say Deepthi, to this site. So I have added Deepthi also. If you want to delete, you can go and click here, delete. It asks you, are you sure? Confirmation thing. Okay. Okay. So it has been deleted. Okay. So if you want to delete a site, you can go here, you can delete it. Okay. This is how you have deleted the site. Okay, now the languages. You have many languages because this Peace Corps they deal with many languages, so we have many languages. So you can see, okay, this is one language you keys, and you can go here and look all the articles, all the photos under this language. This thing can also help the Peace Corps volunteer in their language training. They can learn the language easily. So I can see all the things, this picture, and it's text, category, and phonetic text. Basically, phonetic text is how you speak, because the local user do not understand English, so they need to know to get to know how to speak that word in their language. You have this phonetic text. So this is how you have it. Then you can add a new language, since you are admin right now. Okay, so I can add a new language. And okay, now say I want to add photos. You can go and see. You can see this is a photo. Okay, let's add one photo. Um, okay, say I want to add it to Georgian. Category is food. Say cake. Let's go to the pictures, and I created the photo. You can see the picture here, and the phonetic text, and the English text, and the category, and the language. We can go to the language Georgian here, and you can see this thing. So it works. So now you can also delete this thing. Okay, let's do this. Let's delete this language, and you'll delete all the photos under this language. So I've deleted this. Okay, and the post that I have created, that has been automatically deleted because it was related to that language. Okay, so you were admin. Let's log in into this application as a volunteer. So this person is a volunteer here. You can see she is logged in as a volunteer. Username is Soumya. Okay. So similar things, you can edit the profile, etc. You can see the contributors here only. You cannot edit them or anything. You can just see who are the contributors being added to this application. Sites, you can see the sites, who are the volunteers and the contributors under it. So let's see, you have this, you have the volunteers here, contributors here. You cannot delete the volunteers because you're a volunteer right now. You can only delete the contributors. See, I have deleted the contributor. So she has been deleted. Okay. Sites. Okay, done. Languages. So now you can see the languages and go through your training, like this Shivji's language. Then you have this Udi language. Then you have etc. Okay. So let's move on to this photos. So since volunteer, yeah, volunteer can also add a new photograph. Say okay. So I have highlighted, and I can see it. Okay, let's edit this photo. You can also edit this photograph. Again, go browse, then again click on it. Okay, update the article, and you'll see that you have updated the picture. You can also edit uh, other fields as well, just like this. Okay. Okay. So now let's go. Yeah, you can delete it the same way the admin was able to delete it. Okay. Yeah, I have deleted it. Okay. Now the thing comes is now. Okay. Yeah, the local user contributor. Let's log in as a contributor. Okay, she's the contributor. And for this contributor, the language contribution is Chuki. So he or she will be able to see only the photos under the Chuki's language, no other language. Let's go here. You can see all the all the photos related to this. Okay, I can add a new photo for Chukis only. No other languages will be allowed. So I say I'm going to add hmm, and I have created the photo. Okay, similar way I can also edit this again. And I've again updated it. Yes, I've updated it. Okay, you can go here and the list you can select anyone and edit any one picture and it will be updated. Okay. Now the most important thing comes is that will the person be able to browse through these links. So let's say you're a contributor right now, so you shouldn't be able to log in to see the installations. I go, you are not authorized to access this page. Okay, let's do this. If there is an article, but you just entered any random route here, so you cannot find, you get the error messages, you are not um, able to access any random route, you cannot access. You are still on the profile page, you cannot access this random route. Okay, let's go to the volunteer and see whether they can access the things that they are not allowed to. Say installations, they are not allowed to access the installations page. You are not authorized. Yeah. Okay. The next thing is that let's see. Okay. Now the problem comes is now I am a new user. How do I log into this application? I go to the sign up form. I log in. Say the username Wonder. You cannot change this role because this is by default guest. You can check the language contribution you are wanting. Okay, you cannot change this too because you are not registered to use this application yet till the admin allows the guest user to. So you are a guest right now. So now this guest one with the username Wonder can just see whether he is allowed to log in into this application or not. You cannot access any of the routes. You cannot access anything till you are allowed by the admin. Okay. So let the admin log in and give the user permission. Okay, this guy is here. I can edit this. You can say I want the role, update the user, And now you can log in. That Wonder guy can log in, and he'll be logging in into this application as a volunteer. So I'm a volunteer. Yeah. So that is it. Thank you.
Thank you, Soumya. That was great. It's come a long way, and I like the fact that you show the different user types as well. Thank you. So why don't we take a 4-minute break? It's 7:06 Pacific time, anyway. 10:06. So let's come back in about 5 minutes, just in case anybody has to get some water or go to the bathroom. So let's just take a 5-minute break, and we'll be back. Okay. Great. I was curious if anybody needed to go, but I will be here, and we will stop promptly. It's okay. Thank you. Okay, hopefully everybody's back. Let's go ahead and get started. Next up is Ushahidi team. Our Ushahidi crowd map team is actually, we worked with actually 2 volunteers, Peace Corps volunteers, Annie and Amy in Azerbaijan. Our technical mentors were actually part of who works for Ushahidi, Angela and Linda. They are based in Nairobi as well. And our 2 students, Jennifer and Julia. Jennifer, I believe, is in Vienna right now, or back at school at the in Sheffield, UK, and Julia, who's actually Connecticut College. I think she's headed back there as well, but she's from Vermont. So Jennifer, Julia, whoever wants to go first, just let me know if you're back. Hopefully you're back. Why don't you go ahead and go first, Julia, and then when, okay, yeah. And you can share your screen, and then Jennifer, we'll have Jennifer. So Julia, we don't hear anything. Does anyone else hear something? No, no one hears anything, Julia. Okay, no problem. Jennifer, do you want to go ahead and go, and then Julia, while Julia works on her mic? Okay. Go ahead and unmute yourself, and then share your screen with us. I think you're both still muted. Julia jumped off. Jennifer, you're still muted.
Hello?
Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Can you see my screen too?
So why don't you give us a little background of and I'll give you a little background as well. So when we were actually talking about some of the projects that we were going to do with Peace Corps, they actually mentioned this particular project, which was a crowd map. And I did meet with Amy before even GSoC started, and just tried to understand what exactly her goal was. And typically they have all of the posts actually have the same common problem, is that when there are new Peace Corps volunteers coming in, they want to be able to have some data or readily available for them to access or to kind of give the next volunteers that are coming on. So and also within their own community, they want to be able to track some of the things that they have been doing as volunteers in there and make it readily available. So that's where the idea came from, CrowdMap. And Ushahidi is actually the platform that they've used. Ushahidi is based in Nairobi, Kenya, and that's where Angela and Linda both work. And they're both sisters, and so we're actually glad that they came on board to volunteer. So Jennifer, go ahead and take it away.
Yeah, so basically we had to make a few customizations. So Julia and I, we shared the tasks, and the requirements were given by the volunteers by feedback. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through a few tasks, a few examples, what I was working on. My first task was to build a constraint on the map. So what the volunteers wanted is that you're only able to see the country. For example, here you only see the country of Kenya, and you can't zoom out. So if I click here, I cannot zoom out further than the country. That was my first task, and also we were given feedback that the volunteers, when they were using the site, they were confused by the mouse wheel zoom in and out function. So they would scroll down and suddenly zoom in. So that's why I just built a constraint so volunteers can only use those buttons to make this work. Let's jump to the next task. The volunteers wanted to allow partial search in the filter. Show you what that is. The report filter is this section here on the side. And I'll just show you. I just made a few customizations here. So basically you type in a name here, for example, the PCV name. And before I was only able to type in to search for the whole name. You get the report. But now you can also just use one word. And you'll get the report from the PCV name, which is me in this example. Perfect. I'm just going to show you another task as well, because it kind of goes hand in hand. That was customizing the report filter that I just showed you. So basically, what the volunteers wanted is to get rid of a few filters, and also enable a search by location, and also just have the ability to search by keyword and each of the names. For example, director name. Who's the director? Claudio. So you're also able to just search this guy, and then you get the report. So that was another task that I was working on. Yeah. The volunteers said they had problems loading screenshots or generally images to the reports, or like when they were adding pages. So I started testing this. That's the image editor. I started testing it and then realized that is actually working, but the messages, the errors that you get were just misleading. So no, I added this text here, and I just generally did some formatting, so it's a bit, it's just a bit more clear for the user what is actually going on, because they would, for example, delete an image, and there's no error message. So I just added a few error messages to tell the user what's going on. So that was one of my tasks. Yeah, one of my the most challenging actually, but now in the end, like my favorite one was removing one of the pages and replacing it with a new opportunities page. So the idea is that when a volunteer fills in a report, let's go and submit a report, they've got a text field called search off, so that is used if the volunteers are in need of something like a resource. So yeah, the idea to create a full new page where volunteers, like if they type something into this in search of field, that will be posted here in this table, and then you can click to the report, and you see, for example, someone needs help. Let's go back to the opportunities page. Yeah, apart from that table where the resources needed are listed, there's also a list of resources available. I'll show you that. For example, volunteers can submit resources that they would like. For example, a car. Jenny has got a car to offer. You type in the date. And you submit. Oh. You have to fill in all the fields. And then you can either go back to the page or submit another opportunity. Yeah, that was what the last one was. Can I show you? Yeah. Yeah, I was struggling with two of my tasks, so I can't show them at the demo because they're not fully merged yet. But here's like one of the tasks I can show you. So what the volunteers wanted is to add Azerbaijani characters, like characters in the search bar. So the idea is that you click on the button, the character, and it is automatically typed in to the search field. I've got an example here, I think. Yeah. There you see the characters, so you could just press those buttons. Because obviously if they have a European keyboard, they wouldn't have all those letters. So that's for that's placed here, and is also placed here in the merged version. Yeah, so that's it, basically. Hello, that's me done.
Can anyone hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But I guess I'll just be, there was really only one main task that I wanted to show off. Let me see if I can get this to work. Okay, can you see my screen? Okay, great. So one of the main things that I was doing was streamlining the main Ushahidi page and just removing some unnecessary things so that hopefully the site would go a little quicker, be a little faster for the Peace Corps volunteers who don't have great internet connections. So this is like the default theme, all the default features that they have, and there's a lot of these that aren't necessary, like this chronological filter down here, this little box with reporting features, just a bunch of unnecessary stuff. And there's also in this particular default theme just a lot of like dead space with just all this gray right here that just doesn't really do anything. It makes the site look a little bit outdated. So the first thing I did was create a new theme, which looked like this. It's pretty similar, same color scheme and things like that, but you can see that I just cleaned it up a little bit so there was less gray and it looked a little bit more modern. And then what I did was I made a settings page so that administrators of the site could decide which of these features they want to have and which ones they don't. And that's right here where they can just, it's a Boolean, yes, no, enabling. And in the end, that ends up looking something more like this with a lot less going on, just more minimalist, simpler, with really only the things that the Peace Corps volunteers actually need and use. And one other thing I wanted to talk about that I added was this filter search bar down here. And what that does is it's like these filters over here, which you can use to filter the reports that are on the map. The search does a similar thing, but instead of just being able to filter only by category, you can also use a word or two to filter it. So if I just wanted to look for reports that have the keyword school in it, I can use that, and that will filter what's right there. So those were like some of the biggest tasks I worked on. There were a couple other things pertaining to like downloading reports and submitting reports, but I think those are really the ones that highlight most of my work for this summer.
Can you hear me now? I'm speaking. Yes, okay, great. All right. So I'll just say the same thing. Okay, great. Julie and Jennifer have been on standby mode for about a week. There was this big presentation. The director of the Peace Corps was headed out to Azerbaijan. She's actually there for this week. But the timing just wasn't correct, wasn't there. Amy only had about 3 to 5 minutes, so they're actually going to have a formal demo for the team next week. And then also, Soumya, if you're still online, I think you are, we need to try to schedule something with the Peace Corps team in Micronesia also for next week as well. So, Julie and Jennifer, if you can unmute yourself, you are totally different from the others. This is a brand new technology that we're using this time. It's, I believe, Kona. Is that the correct technology, Julia?
It's Kohana, which is a PHP framework.
Okay, and it is a REST API? Is it mostly REST API or?
I don't know. How would you describe it, Jennifer?
The framework, you mean? Sorry.
Yeah.
Hello? Can anyone hear me? I can't hear you either.
Yeah, but I can't hear you, Jen. But I can hear you, Rose.
Okay, great. Okay, I just wanted to let everybody know that, this was a brand new technology that we were using, and you guys did an awesome job on just picking it up, learning it, and just trying to understand it. So great job on this project as well. So we'll move on. Let's move on to our Sisters projects. So we've captured all of our Peace Corps projects. Now we have our Sisters projects, and this actually is something that we have actually needed for quite some time. And when I say we, I do mean all of our communities, our sub-community, Sisters, LGBT, Black women in computing, Latinas, all of our sub-communities need this so like last year. So in addition to that, we also needed a volunteer management system. We have a tremendous amount of volunteers that we have to manage, but there's oftentimes, we don't have a way of tracking the hours and things like that. So we definitely track them manually, meaning documentation or either a spreadsheet, but that just becomes so cumbersome if you have more than 300 volunteers that you have to manage. So 3 projects that we've done, portal, volunteer management system, and then an automated testing as well. The automated testing, we did have 2 students, Dorota, she made it through the midterm, but that actually she was offered an intern position at Google in Poland. And they said that she could come back and reapply if she wanted to. She was in great standing, so but we always want to encourage that as well. You'll hear from Shweta later on. Our volunteer management system, the team was Suzanne, who is a computer science professor at a university of Rhode Island, and Stephen, who is based in Tokyo, and Sneha, also based in India. Jayesh and Irish. Jayesh in India and Irish is in Canada. I have a video that we will watch together of Irish's demo because she is actually presenting a poster today. The Portal project, Prometha she's based out of New York. She just moved there, so she's still getting acclimated to her new job and things like that. Lynn Root, I'm sure, I don't know if you probably heard of Lynn. She runs the Pi Ladies globally, but she's based out of San Francisco. Laura Castle, who actually ran the Pi Ladies in Atlanta, but she just recently moved to Portland over the summer. Now she's with New Relic, and Lynn is with Spotify, I believe. And then our students, Anna and Chitra. Chitra is located in India, and Anna is traveling right now, but her base, Anna, where are you from? I can't remember. But you'll hear from them. We're going to go to the volunteer management system right now. So they, again, all of our web projects, no one's new to Python, but everyone was new to Django. And that was one of the things we definitely wanted to utilize in our projects this year, was using the Django framework. So everybody was learning, everyone had their challenges, but it all came together as well. So I am going to stop sharing and give it to Jayesh. Jayesh, are you ready? Just unmute yourself and share your screen. Jayesh, are you there? Okay, let me get hers up, and we can do that. Not a problem. So Irish does have voice with hers. So give me just 1 second to share that screen, and then where's the voice? Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Irish and I'm a computer science.
Okay, hold on just 1 second. Let me share the screen. Which one is this one? Alrighty. Okay. So everyone sees my screen, I hope. Just give me a ping to say yes, you acknowledge, so that way, great. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start the video right now. And hopefully you can hear the...
Hi everyone, I'm Irish and I'm a computer science graduate attending a summer of code. My project consists of implementing a volunteer management system for the Systers community. I was responsible for implementing the volunteer aspect of the volunteer management system, which consists of functionalities such as viewing and editing volunteer profiles, doing volunteer jobs, and signing up for volunteer shifts. So let's go ahead and get started. We can register for an account by clicking on Register right here. We can pick a username and password. In this About field, you can enter a short biography. We can enter in our first and last name, our address, our city, our state or province, our country, our phone number, and we can select our organization from this drop-down list. Or if our organization isn't present in this list, then we can enter our organization here instead. Let's also enter in our email. And in this profiles field, we can enter any links to any other online profiles that we have, such as our GitHub account. Here we have the option of either uploading a resume or pasting in our resume in text format. So for this demo, we're going to upload a resume. And let's go ahead and click on Register. So this created an account for the volunteer management system. So now we can log in. We can view our volunteer profile by clicking on View Profile. Here we can view our bio, our name, location, organization, email address, as well as any links to any other online profiles. We can click on this Download Resume button to download the resume that's stored in the system. If we want to edit our profile, we can do that by clicking on Edit Profile. Here we can edit any of our profile fields, which also includes the option of uploading an updated resume by clicking on Browse, or deleting an uploaded resume by clicking on this button here. We can search for volunteers by clicking on the Search Volunteer link. So here we can search for volunteers based on any of these criteria. So, for example, let's search for volunteers located in the United States and are working for Google. And let's click on Search. So we can see here that we've got back 2 volunteers that are located in the United States and work for Google. Volunteers can also view all volunteer jobs by clicking on View Available Jobs. So these are all the volunteer jobs that volunteers can sign up for. We can view additional details and sign up for job shifts by clicking on Sign Up. So here we can see all the job details pertaining to the event planner job. Under Available Job Shifts, we can see all the shifts for this job. We can sign up for a shift by clicking on Sign Up. So let's go and sign up for a few shifts. Maybe let's sign up for the shift on October 22nd from 9 to 12 p.m. And let's click on Sign Up. Here we get a confirmation message, so all we have to do is click Yes. And here it says we successfully signed up. So let's go ahead and sign up for a few more shifts. Let's go back to the event planner job, and maybe let's sign up for this one. Let's sign up for a shift for the manager job. So let's click on here, and then let's sign up for a shift on September 15th from noon to 7 p.m. for the manager job. And again, let's click on Yes. We can view all the shifts that we are signed up for by clicking on Manage My Shifts. Here we can choose to manage our hours or cancel a shift. So let's click on Manage Hours for the event planner shift. So once a volunteer has completed their shift, they can enter in their hours by clicking on Add Hours. To enter hours, we just enter the time that we started our shift and the time we ended our shift. So let's enter our start time. And let's enter our end time. And let's click on Submit. So here it shows the start and end time that we entered, as well as the total number of hours that we worked. We can also edit our hours by clicking on Edit, which we're not going to do right now. And we can also delete our hours by clicking on Delete. If we want, we can also cancel a shift that we are signed up for. So maybe let's cancel this shift. And let's go ahead and confirm. And I canceled the shift that we were signed up for. We can view individual volunteer reports by clicking on this link. An individual volunteer report will list all of our hours based on the month, the year, or the job title criteria that we provide. So for example, if we select the year 2014 and we click on Generate Report, we get back a list of all the shifts that we signed up for or completed during 2014. Here we can see the volunteer hours for this shift. And under Report Statistics, we can view the total number of hours as well as the total number of shifts. We can view general volunteer reports by clicking on this link. A general volunteer report will list all the hours for all volunteers based on any of these criteria. So something like a general volunteer report will be useful for someone such as a program manager. So let's go ahead and generate a report based on the event planner job. For job title, let's enter event planner. And let's click on generate report. So here we can see all the volunteer hours for the event planner job. If we want, we can also narrow our report results by providing more specific criteria here. So that about wraps up the demo for the volunteer aspect of the volunteer management system. Thank you for listening, and I hope you all have a great day.
Awesome. Just saying. Let me get back to you. Can you all hear me? Just give me a yes. Yes. Oh my God, this is the first time I've seen this, and the ABI staff is just going to be ecstatic. This has been a long road, but I swear I can't wait to get it in our hands and start using it. It's just going to be crazy, and I'll tell you why later. But Jayesh, are you ready for your part? Okay, go ahead and unmute yourself and then share your screen, and I'll mute myself.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
So hi everyone, this is Jayesh from India, and I'll be presenting the VMS admin part. I'll just share my screen. So uh, this is the screen for the VMS project, and we had I and Irish were working on this project, and we had divided the project into the admin part and the volunteer part. She was working on volunteer stuff, and I was working on the admin stuff. And so this will be the landing page where we see only two options, the register option and the login option. When you are not logged in, then you can only register as a volunteer. You can also log in from here. So I'll log in as an admin now. So this is the admin homepage. Once the admin user logs in, he gets redirected here, and he gets a list of all the features implemented for him. If once an admin registers a user, the user will be registered with admin functionalities and not with volunteer functionalities. So I'll just demonstrate all the functionalities for admin. You can add an organization. Organization is the concerned organizations which are registered with ABI. So you will have to enter the name and the location. You can also see a list of all the organizations. and the number of volunteers from each organization. Say currently we have 3 organizations: LinkedIn, Google, Microsoft. So this is the search. The next functionality will be the search volunteers by organization. So here the admin will have to select the volunteer, select the organization, and it will display all the volunteers corresponding to that organization. So we have 2 volunteers registered for LinkedIn. Next we'll go to event. An admin can create an event which will have a start and an end date. Once the event is created, the admin can create jobs inside each event. So currently, like, we have two events registered here: GSoC 2014 and banquet dinner. So the admin can select any of the event and then add a job inside it. Next, coming to shifts. So shift is what the minimal entity which the admin will assign to the volunteers. Let's say we select an event, we select a job, and then we select the location, how, and the start and end time. So this is what the shift will look like. I'll show you some examples of shifts. So these are all shifts which have been created by the admin. When, let's say, we have event name banquet dinner, job name receive guests, location main gate party hall, how greet, and start time will be 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Another shift we have from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So this is what a shift has been created. Next, the admin will assign these shifts to the volunteers. We can also have multiple shifts inside the same event and same job. For example, these 4 shifts here are differing only in time: 7 p.m. to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, and 10 to 11. SAT is scheduled assigned entry. So this is where the admin will assign a shift to a volunteer. So we can see all shifts: banquet dinner, receive guest, from this time to this time. And we'll also select a volunteer here. This is where we see all the SAT entries, that this shift is assigned to volunteer Peter, who is from organization LinkedIn, and his start time is 18th August 2014 7 p.m. to 18th August 2014 8 p.m. So number of assigned hours makes it 1. Similarly to all other volunteers. These are only the assigned shifts. This doesn't mean that the volunteer has actually worked for so many hours. This just demonstrates that the admin expects him to be there. So whenever we create a shift, the volunteer gets an email in his account that you have been assigned a shift with all the details. These are the list of all jobs which were created. For example, we had jobs in banquet dinner, greet guests at main gate, and the number of volunteers were as per assigned were as per the number of shifts which were created. So we had assigned to 7 volunteers, so 7 was shown here. Similarly, in events also the same thing is computed from there. Now, work log table entry is the actual entry which the volunteer is supposed to make when he logs his hours. So he'll have to just log out and log in into the volunteer account. This is where the admin is getting to know what all the volunteers have actually logged the hours for. For example, in this example, we have banquet dinner, receive guests. The shift was assigned from 1900 hours to 2000 hours to Peter, but he only worked from 7 to 7:50. So he has logged 50-minute entry here. The actual shift was assigned for 1 hour. This is the admin homepage. Now I'll log out and go into the volunteer part. So this is the volunteer page, and this is where the Irish's code will be. So firstly, you can see all the assigned shifts. This is what he has been assigned by the admins, that he has been assigned 3 shifts from 7 to 8, 9 to 10, and 10 to 11. The banquet dinner receive guests. He also has functions to search for shifts by select event, and by time. He can so this is the these are the list of shifts which are openly available, like receive guest, greet guest, and he can volunteer. So this will create a SAT entry, not a work log table entry. He can also do the same by filtering over time. Now we'll create a work log table entry that he actually selected a shift and worked from so many times to so many times. He will also show the work log table entries for which this particular volunteer has logged in. He has logged in 2 entries, that is from 7 to 7:50 and 9 to 9:30, whereas the actual shifts assigned were from 1900 hours to 2000 hours and 2100 hours to 2200 hours. I'll again go back into the admin part and show you the reporting functions. So this is what was needed for better reporting, which was till date done using Excel sheets and stuff. So this is a report volunteers by org. So we have this demonstrated that LinkedIn has 2 volunteers, Google has 1 volunteer, and Microsoft also has 1 volunteer. And at the bottom we see their name, email, and phone numbers. Report hours by org is the feature where we can select the hours, where we can filter upon the total number of hours contributed by all employees from all organizations. Let's say I enter 0 to 20, so this will show all organizations which have contributed from 0 to 20 only. So we can see here that LinkedIn has contributed 2 hours, Google has contributed 0.5, Microsoft has 0.65. So this is how Google contributed 0.5 hours, only 1 volunteer worked for him. For Microsoft, we had 2 volunteers working. For LinkedIn, we had 3 volunteers working, and the total was 2.8 hours. Similarly, we can also report the hours based on event. Let's say I select the event banquet dinner, so I'll get all the entries of the volunteers corresponding to the banquet dinner event only. Microsoft has reduced its count because one of the volunteers worked for GSoC 2014 event. Similarly, we can filter by time also. Let's say if I enter an entry from month May, then I get only 1 volunteer from Microsoft who worked in the event which was active during this period, which was GSoC 2014 org admins from 21st April to 28th. We're getting this entry because event was active during this period. Now this is where we actually get all the entries for all volunteers inside one organization. So we select a time that we want the report for all volunteers during this time for organization link. So we had two volunteers only, Peter and Mark, and Peter has logged so many hours, Mark has logged so many hours. So this is Peter's shifts and this is Mark's shifts. Similarly, we can see for Google also, we had only one volunteer who worked during this period in Google, from Google actually. Similarly for Microsoft. And yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayesh. So Irish did the volunteer side and Jayesh did the admin side. I'm telling you, when IABI staff people see this, they're gonna definitely want to say, "Hey, when can we get this?" I know I need it right away, but this is great work, and that's a lot of teamwork because you have the user side and then you have the administrator side. So we always have to do a little juggling, and I appreciate the work. Thank you, Jayesh. Appreciate that. Great work. Thank you. So next up, we will have, let's see, who is next up? Our portal team. Let me share this, my screen really quickly. Our portal team, again, is Anna and Chitra. They've done some amazing work on the portal as well. Lena's been very instrumental in helping them get through a lot of their challenges, their code reviews. Their GitHub has been phenomenal, just following the discussion. So they've done some great work as well, and I'll let you take it away. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself and unshare my screen so that you guys can take away. Who's going to be presenting first? Is that Anna or Chitra?
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Thanks, Anna.
Perfect. We'll do a presentation together. Basically, I'll be talking, but on the behalf of Chitra as well. I'll just share my screen right away, so everybody can see it.
Yes, I can. Yeah. Okay,
yeah,
great.
Perfect. All right, so Chitra and I were working on Portal this summer. Chitra is from India, as you said, and I'm based in Republic of Moldova, but traveling a lot. Yeah, so let's dive in. Let's say that you found out about Systers and you got on this awesome page, awesome looking page, and you just scroll down and see all different features of Systers, that it's a community and you can do like lots of interesting stuff with it. So you can go to some other static pages and check out about some about information. As well, you can go and check out the communities. So far, there is one community created, which is Systers. So what you can see here is one about page with some text and video. So let's click on news. Here we have to news edit. So you can filter out according to the tags. So let's say I'm interested only in Python. Everything is dummy here, so don't really pay attention to the meaning of the tags button. So let's click on news. So what I can do here, I can share on social media this this interesting page. So let's try it out with Google Plus. So here we can see the link, we can add a comment here and so on and share it, but we won't be doing that. So let's say I want to go back to Systers News and I'm checking out the resources. I also can filter them out by tags and by types. as well, I can share these resources. So suppose me as an anonymous user, I say this is great and I want to join Sisters. So I click on this button and let's register a dummy user with some dummy info. So I did the sign up and here I am on my profile page. In the right part of the screen on the top, I have some options if I want to log out, like the standard stuff and change password, but here I am on my profile. I can see that I'm not a member of any community, and at the moment I have no permissions. Well, what I can do, I can edit my profile and add my name, for example, and my country. Okay. Oh, that will take too much time, but yeah, you can upload a photo. So let's submit this, and the info is right here. I have my name right now, not just the username. So this looks great. Let me see what I can do now. So right now, what I can do, I can go to Sisters community again and check out the profile of this community. So I can see that the admin is a person who's an admin. I can see the email and other stuff like that. As well as if I go to news, what I can do, I can leave a comment here. So it's a logged in user already. So great, here I have it. I can delete it as well, but okay, we can try it out. Okay, it's deleted. Let's add once again. Same comment, just for fun. So let's say I want to join the community. So I click on join community, and what happens is that the admin and all the super users will see my request. Well, at the moment, if I go to my profile, I can see my request in my membership modal. So I can cancel it, like with a modal, and yeah, I cancel it. But then I change my mind and I say, no, I really want to join. So I'll send the request again. Okay, this was fun, but let's go to the perspective of a super user. This is the Django super user type, who is going to be the sister keeper, who has like all the permissions that you can ever have. So I will sign up as the admin. So let's see what I can do. If I go to Sisters, now I can do like a lot of stuff. I can not only view the community profile, but I can edit. Like I can change some of the stuff here. For instance, I can say that Anna will be our admin. So I'm saying she will be the new admin. As a super admin, I still have all the permissions and rights, so I can go and manage pages. Well, how all this stuff is built is that we can have a bunch of communities, like not all the sisters. We'll create a new one, actually. So we have some pages which we'll see like all the time for the news and resources, but about is a custom page. So we can go, if we go to manage pages, we can edit this page. So we can change something. Let me switch from live. This is Django CMS. So if I double click, it pops up. So let me just add something, save it. Yeah, okay. So let's go back and check it out. Yeah, okay, we have the change here. As well on the manage page, what we can do, we can add another page. So let's go ahead and try this. So this is a page about, let's say we want to say some words about members. Okay. The ordering is the ordering that we want to have on our community. Like we want to say that about is going to be the first page and the members is going to be the second one in our breadcrumbs. So here we are again in Django CMS. We can add some text. Okay, save it. Great. And here we are on this page. As well, we can delete them, of course. Let's say we don't like the members page again, so I'm sure I want to delete this one. Back to Sisters, what else we can do? We can manage the users, but let's see if we have any users. No, because we have only the admins, so we will get here later. So yeah, right now we can see the join requests for our Sisters community. So we can see that Anna wants to become a member. So let's say that we approve her request. Great. Now, once we approved her request, let's go out and check out the Sisters users. So we can see that Anna is a member, and what we can do, we can manage her permissions for this. Since we have made her a community admin for Sisters community, we can see that she already has the permissions as a community admin. So probably we won't change anything here and just will go back to Sisters. But we'll show afterwards that we can have like really specific permissions. Let's go to news. One other interesting feature that we have implemented is monitoring of postings like news and resources. So what we can see, we can click on watch and unwatch. So since we're watching this posting, the news, every single person who will comment will expect an approval from an admin or a super user. Until it is approved, it won't be seen to everybody else. What else we can do, like the standard stuff? We can edit this, and yeah, we probably won't be doing any of this, and we can delete it, but yeah, probably we don't want to do this as well. So let's go ahead and log in as our previous user. So right now, the user can see that she's a community admin for Sisters, and if she now goes to Sisters, she has like all this stuff that she can do, and she has the permissions to do anything within this community. So basically the same thing as we have seen with the super user. So let's check it out what we can do else. Let's say that I want to sign in with my social accounts. So let's go ahead with Facebook, for instance. Okay, it didn't ask for any permissions because I have already done that, but normally it won't be like that. So here I am. I have created an account instantly using my Facebook account. So right now I also don't have any permissions. I can go to Sisters and I want to request. Let's go ahead and again switch to the perspective of the admin. Right, this takes some time switching from one user to the other, so it's good, right? I did sign in, I go to Sisters, I go to show and join request. I can see that this user did request join the Sisters, so I am approving it. All right, great. Again, switching back to this user. Sign in with Facebook. All right, so if she goes to Sisters and go to news, let's check it out with this feature with leaving comment. So I'm leaving a comment here. What will happen? I'm submitting, but we can't see it, right? Why? Because somebody should approve it. Once again, going back to okay. I'm sorry if it takes a bit too long, but there's like a lot happening, a lot of it. Let's go to news. Let's go here, and I can see the comment here, so I can approve it. And now everybody will be able to see it, which is Great. Sisters. Let's manage the community users. So let's manage the community, the permissions for Anna, and let's make her a content contributor. So there we go. So what will happen now if Anna will sign up or join in, will log in. So what she can do now. Oh, by the way, you can leave the community if you want, of course, but we won't be doing that. So right now she can see that she's a content contributor for Sisters. Let's go to Sisters. And what she can do now, she can actually manage pages. So she can't delete them, but there is a possibility to edit them. As well, if you go to news, we can add new news. Right, great. Okay, let's try and go ahead and add one maybe. So it's like dummy news. Let's add some text and content. Okay, great. Here we are, and you can see that I'm the author. So I started contributing for Sisters. This is awesome. As well for resources, so she has the rights to edit and add stuff, but nothing more. I can show what happens if we make her control. Okay, so let's go to Sisters again, and if we manage the permissions for Anna, and I'll just probably say that because it's like the features are kind of similar. So the next step, I can make Anna content manager for Sisters. That means that she will be able also to delete stuff, to delete pages, to delete resources. So she has a little bit more power over the Sisters community. And if I make her user and content manager, she will be able to do that stuff with the permissions that I was able to manage the users and to basically see this page and the other one with managing all the Sisters users. So besides that, there are some other little features that we can do. Let's say that I want to sign up back as super user. So super user can go to the admin panel, which is basically the standard Django administration, but it's rather powerful and you can do lots of stuff with it. So let's say that you want to add a new community. So maybe Indian women in computing. I want to make myself an admin. Probably I'll add this stuff later. So we have one more community, and what happens is that right now under communities drop down, I have this new community. It lacks anything because we didn't add the stuff, but we can fill in by the same way we did with Sisters. So the project is basically rather robust, and you can create new communities, add new users, manage a lot of stuff like role level permissions. So it's really, really, really cool. So thank you everybody for listening. I hope I didn't bore you to death.
No, you did not. Thank you so much, Anna and Chitra. This is amazing. Chitra, do you have something to say?
Yeah, Anna, can you please show that the new community proposal form, that is, if somebody wants to propose a proposal for community, then one can do so.
Oh, right. Yeah, basically forgot about that. So I think my screen is still sharing. Yeah, so you can go here and you can create a new proposal. This is an embedded Google form translated from the standard PDF that Sisters were using, where you can fill in different info and submit it, and then roles or some of the backup admins can review it and create new communities. So, Chitra, maybe you have something to add?
No, I mean we showed different kind of users. It's okay. Then if we can show that this form is editable or this form, create propose a new community proposal and then see admin can accept it. Yeah.
Um, as it works right now is that since it's a Google form, all the data is aggregated in a Google spreadsheet. So you just have the data there. We don't have right now an automated way to pull the data from there and to create a community right away on our portal, but I assume, well, this is something like we did really fast. That's a feature for the future probably, but as well, not the communities are not created every day, so that's why we left this one for the future.
Yes, that's correct. This community proposal is not something that's done every day. It may come in probably, we get a few in November, December timeframe. Then there is a process that we have to go through. So that's not something every day, but at least it's something that we can put available on the portal. Thank you so much, both of you. I appreciate the hard work that you've done. So we have all of these. So we have all of these sub-communities, and I think we have about 10. We rebranded our site last year, and some of their pages were removed. And then, so we had to come up with a way to actually retain some of that information and have a way for the chairs to actually have some control over what they want to display, because currently they were all going through ABI, and it was just it took a lot of time. We would actually have to post all of the pages and so on. So this is going to alleviate a lot of that. The community leaders, I talked to them about this last month, and they're really, really excited about it. So appreciate all the hard work that you both have done. This is great. Thank you. And I know that we are way, way overboard, and I appreciate everybody sticking around. I do have one last video to show you. It is a very important video, okay, because of the fact that it is our Selenium automated testing. A lot of times people forget about the testing piece in software development, and the life cycle does have to include testing, and it is a very critical point. It is right before you go out and push it out to the public. Your product should be tested. And there should not be any, it should be with quality when it delivers and when it goes public. And so testing is a very important piece. So we do have that piece every year. And so I definitely want to show you the automated testing piece that Shweta has done. She actually presented a presentation as well, so we'll go ahead and watch that. And I appreciate everybody sticking around. This is important to see what everybody else has been doing. So I'm going to go ahead and start to play this.
Hello everyone, I'm Shweta. I'm a student developer for GSoC 2014, and I really hope that you guys are having a great time. I wish I could be there in person, but unfortunately click on this one. Uh, and if you are still facing problems, you can just contact me. I'll tell you another trick. Okay, so that's sorted. As we see, it's now displaying everything in a more Java compatible programming code. It has all the imports we want and the class name and the annotation before, test, and after before is used, so that when before you test you execute the test, you have to do some basic functions, like you have to get the driver, you have to make the driver ready, and then you test your thing, and after that you have to close the driver. So that is what after annotation is. So that is what after annotation is for. Okay, and so yes, and you are ready to get started with Selenium testing. Steps to get started with Selenium testing: it's create a new test case within Selenium IDE, tell it to record, okay, and open a URL in the base URL. um, mm, See, you have to say new test case, and you have to put the base URL you want to test in this, and then you have to click on this red button here to record. Click to record, and it's after this anything you do will be recorded here. You have to after you're done, you click this to stop recording, and then you can copy this thing into your Eclipse IDE and make the necessary changes to the code. And yes, write the test case you want to have, and that is pretty much it. So with but yes, you have to have JUnit imported to your Eclipse, and yes, do that. Once you have it in Eclipse, you write the test cases, you start doing whatever you think is you want to test. Like driver, you have to find element that has to exist on a certain page. Anyways, uh, what my work deals with, so what my work deals with is I'm I'm right now I'm making a I'm making test cases for Systers portal, which is hosted on a test server right now. This is the window. It is a beautiful website. It's turning out as awesome, and it's still in development phases, so I cannot test for everything because things change, right? But yes, I would create test cases for the most general and most stable ones. You can check it out on my repository, Sisters automated testing repository, under portal tests, and you have the admin tests, which has UI tests for the admin side of the portal, then community tests, whatever tests there are for the community page, and the helper folder. It is important because it contains all the common code or the common implementation that you will have for all the other test cases. So I've just put it all here, and if in case you want to make any changes in the future, just change the code here, use your own discretion, and then it will all be mirrored in every other test case. And I've login test for portal, or simple login using an account of Facebook or GitHub, Google, Twitter, and homepage features. They are still changing, so only the basic ones, and they're working. I'll show it to you here. Yes, opening the Eclipse IDE, we have the project here. I prefer to put all my test cases in AUT project. Showing you a demo of the test case I made for a basic structure. So all I did was to open the google.com and see if it was opening all right. So we all remember that Google has this Google search button, and I'm feeling button underneath the search tab. So yes, I'm going to check that if it has that, okay, the test is running all right. You can add more of the uh, testing cases here with assert true, assert false, assert equals. You use the Selenium for all the code, make the changes in the class, have the variables here, do the setup of driver. Base URL is google.com, driver is set up, and then okay, you get the driver, and as a true, if it contains I'm feeling lucky, okay, we are on the right track. So right click here, run as JUnit, and okay, this is going to take not so hard. We're there. We open this, and it has I'm feeling lucky, and so it says that there's no failure, and the green line here says that okay, your test was successful. So yes, yippee. Anyways, my tests are here: portal test, DB test. I've also made database testing, which is not yet implemented in portal because still working on it.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop
But
here,
it is very generic.
and then I will incorporate it into our video as well. So let me just stop sharing here, and then we'll be done. And I appreciate everybody hanging out. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I just got a couple of more announcements to make. I hopefully the mentors have stuck around a little bit. I'll probably bring them on next week, and we'll do just I'll get some Q&A from them. Really, this is wanted to showcase what everybody has been working on the whole summer, and you all have done a fabulous, fabulous job. There was a lot of challenges, a lot of unknowns, and we are working together to kind of design and find solutions and what's the best approach. And your mentors did an excellent job. I don't know if you have any, do you see the showcase on your right-hand side? I actually just wanted to give you an idea of what this program really means to us. So Google Summer of Code really is about bringing open source technologies to students and letting them get involved, but we definitely could not have done that without our mentors. And every time we are able to help a student and we have mentors coming on board, that actually, I know you all get a stipend. Our mentors are not paid. All of our mentors that are working with Sisters are actually volunteers. So they actually have volunteered their time to support you and mentor you and guide you through a lot of your challenges. We do get a stipend. That stipend comes back to us, but we put that into our Sisters Pass It On award. If you look on your right-hand side, you can probably just click on that link. This year we have 2 rounds, spring and fall, so we actually add to that bucket, and whatever we make during the year is what we give out to women across the world. And these are women who want to create change in their local communities through technology. So it comes full circle for Sisters. We're actually helping you gain some real world experience with projects and contribute to open source. But we are also helping these women. Our mentors are very, very critical because we are able to do that through their help and provide this funding for a lot of women across the world. A lot of our projects, we've done for Peace Corps, but our Sisters projects are actually really for our communities and for ABI particularly. We have an upcoming Grace Hopper celebration for women in computing that's happening in October. We actually had to close the registration last week because our number in the very beginning was 6,000, but now it's at 8,000. So if you've ever been to a tech conference, you've never been to a tech conference unless you've danced with hundreds of technical women on the floor. It's an amazing ride that we've been on, and this is very unprecedented for us as well. We do have an open source day at our Grace Hopper celebration. If you click on that link on Open Source Day, you will see the projects. Ushahidi is actually joining us as well. We are doing projects with Peace Corps. Some of you are going to be involved with that remotely, and some of you will be there at the conference as well. So I'm very happy with that. Peace Corps is going to be joining us as well in our community booths. We have big, big, big things planned. If you don't know about our institute, Anita Borg Institute, our sole mission is to really help women in computing, to guide them, to inspire them, and to connect them with people within our network. We have great partners, strategic partners. We have a ton of new sponsors this year for our I think we have like 45 new sponsors for our conference this year that will be there, and that comes from retail, like Macy's. That comes from media, HBO and Time will be there as well. Not a lot of new companies. A lot of like Code for America, Linux Foundation. Visit our partner, our sponsor page also on the Grace Hopper as well. Some of the communities that Anna and Chitra, the project that they're working on, and I really appreciate them being patient with me as I continuously ask them about when is this going to be available, when is this going to be available, because our chairs and our community leaders really, really, really need these application, and they're ready. There's a lot of work that we do before Grace Hopper, a lot of news, a lot of communicating with within their community. So this is very, very important for them. And it comes in stages, and that's fine. If we could just get like the news and the resources, that's even that's all we want for right now. I'm sure we'll have much, much more. Like I said, there's an article about the hottest ticket in tech right now. We have a lot of big sponsors, a lot of heavy tech companies, and they have recently released a lot of their numbers, and they're really trying to move their companies into diversity. So get the diversity numbers in check, and they're checking themselves as well. So that's why they work with the Anita Borg Institute, our communities. They support us in our conference. So there's a lot of work that the tech companies are doing, and they're doing that hard work with Anita Borg Institute. So we appreciate that, and we appreciate their sponsorship and their partnership. And programs like this is really helping us to help others, help our community. The last link you'll see in the showcase is actually where we had to report out. So when we were trying to figure out how would we report out on all of these projects, how would we make it accessible for Peace Corps? We didn't want it to have, didn't want to have an additional login or something like that, so we just created a Google site where all of our projects are listed. The PMs would go in on a weekly basis and update these projects. You see the traffic lights because that was a huge indicator, an immediate indicator for us to say, okay, hey, where are we? This is where we are. If there's something that's in jeopardy, then definitely we need to pay more attention to that. So it was a great way for us to kind of manage our projects as well. So I've posted the links there also so that you can keep abreast of what's going on. And I think we're going to continue down that road for next year. Also, the very latest thing, you should have one last final status report on Monday. However, we want you to do a blog instead. We will send out the blog. It's just a blogger. It's on Blogger, and you will each be invited to add your work, and you'll have instructions on what you should include in your blog, and that will be your final status report, if you will. So look out for that. Additionally, if mentors are listening as well, the evaluations open on Monday. So please add your evaluations in, including mentors. You will get a reminder from me, Nikki, and Anna periodically during the week if we haven't seen you. What you could do is go ahead and post your evaluation. If you have to come back to it, then go ahead and you have that capability in Melange to go back and edit. So once you enter it in Melange, you can always go back and edit until it closes on Friday. So it's very, very important that you actually get your work, your evaluations in, so that that's part of the requirement, and we don't want you to fail, because if they don't see an evaluation, then you will fail. So we don't want that to happen. So make sure that you get your evaluations in. Finish up your documentation. All of you, most of you actually have said that you want to continue on. After next week, I will contact each of you with instructions on how to continue on. Peace Corps really are ecstatic that a lot of you are continuing because they really wanted to continue the work. So very grateful and thankful that you are willing to do that. A lot of our mentors as well. I mean, it's really about just making sure communicating and helping, and they've been very phenomenal about doing that. So the time zones was challenging, working with remote teams, but you know what? That's real world. So you've gained a lot of experience just being in this program. So we appreciate that. Any questions that you have? Any feedback? We're going to send out feedback forms on what we can do. I heard a few from Matt and Kristen yesterday when they had their final weekly for Malaria Project. They get some great feedback. I know there was a lot of unknowns, a lot of uncertainty about directions and things like that, but you know, it's happened on a lot of my projects that I've worked with in the many years that I've been in the industry. So it's nothing new. It's just, you know, it's probably new that you've come across something like that. So a lot of skills that you can take away from here, and we will support you in any way. So please continue. Ask any questions. Send us your questions, and we appreciate your support and all of your hard work this summer. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. And that's it. We appreciate the time. You can ask your questions if you want. If you have any questions, I'll be sticking around. I'm going to edit this video. Otherwise, I'm going to stop the recording, okay? All right. Thank you all. You're welcome. My pleasure. My pleasure.